Build, 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 build. Build, build, build. Build, build, build. Hello agents, and welcome to another Division 2 video. If you can tell by that intro, today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite builds, which I like to call the Creeping Dragon. It's a version of the status effect build that a lot of people run for heroic and legendary missions, and it's really good at CCing your enemies. So with some of the new buffs coming to the Imperial holster and Creeping Death backpack, you should definitely give this a look. Now this build isn't just great for PvE and Black Tusk, it's also great for Dark Zone, and really anything where immobilizing your targets and getting free headshots is fun. Let's look at a couple clips of this build in action and then we'll jump into the gear. So in order to burn, blind, and jam everything in sight in this build, we're going to be looking to stack status effects and skill haste. The way we're going to do that is with the 3-piece China Light brand bonus, the 1-piece Hana-U brand bonus, and the 1-piece Golan brand bonus, along with our exotic holster. So because we're going to be looking for skill haste mods in every available slot, there isn't much flexibility in what piece goes where. For masks, you're going to want to run Golan, and this is my least well-rolled piece of equipment. Where I have repair skills, you're going to be looking for skill haste. Basically skill haste and status effects wherever you can, and to get those 6 skill tiers. So next up we have the backpack. It's China Light, status effects, skill haste, pretty well rolled, but the problem is you're going to need to get Creeping Death on it. So I'll scroll down to see the talent. Now that buff is coming up to 15 seconds instead of 20, which is actually 25% increase, so it's going to be pretty substantial when that rolls in. So all the clips you're seeing so far are before the patch. Now the way this talent actually works is you're going to be spreading the closest status effect on an enemy to all enemies within 5 meters of that. So you can imagine how powerful this is if you can get that fire to spread to all the enemies and you don't even have to shoot them. So under the chest piece, we're going to be looking for a China Light chest piece with status effect and skill haste. Now the talent is where you can really change this build up and do whatever suits your playstyle best. Some people go for the Unbreakable to get that extra armor. Some people go for a Spotter for damage, or Overwatch if you know you're going to be playing in a team and you want to buff them up. I personally go for Trauma just to get that extra blind and bleed effects when you headshot and body shot. But the talent itself is pretty much up to you. Next up are the Hana-U Gloves. These are pretty easy to find with skill haste and status effects, so a perfect roll on these ones isn't too hard to come by. And now on to the most important piece of this build, the Imperial Dynasty. Now you can read there the Dragon's Glare talent, which honestly is probably my favorite in the game right now. It applies the burn effect to a target within 20 meters, and I'm sure you've all seen it. The buff is upcoming. It's going to change from 40 seconds to 35 seconds, so even more powerful than it already is. It's really nice, you don't even have to think about it. As soon as you engage in combat, somebody's getting burned. Now, I'm sure you guys are going to ask where I found this. I actually farmed probably over 40 times the Stranded Tanker mission, and after no success there, I decided to go try my luck at Pathway Park, and on my second run of that, Kajika dropped this, and you can see right there, my groupmate was kind enough to give one to me, and it's so much fun to use. So either one of those bosses has a good chance of dropping them. They're both cleaners, and also those level 4 cleaner control points have a chance if you want to resort to that. The last piece are China Light Kneepads, and again, you're just looking for status effects and skill haste, so not too hard to get a perfect roll here. As far as weapons go, I think I found the 3 best weapons used with this build. First, as a primary, Everlasting Gaze. It's going to have Perfect Perpetuation, which is going to make your status effects last longer. So if it's burning, it's going to do more damage. If it's blind, the guys are going to be even more blind and give you more time to throw another Firefly out. Let your teammates do more damage. It also is pretty nice for damage when you're hitting headshots. After that, I also run the Sweet Dreams, which is an exotic with just an amazing talent for this build. When you're on Heroic and Legendary, you're still going to have purples every now and then that are going to still eat a lot of damage, but instead you can go up, just smack them once with your gun, and they're down for the count. So that's more of a utility thing instead of damage. Then secondary is also going to be the Firestarter. That's just if you're trying to do a lot more burn damage, you can always switch to that and light somebody up. Okay, now to the fun part. So the 2 skills that I run with this build are the Jammer Pulse and the Blinder Firefly. Now the Jammer Pulse is going to have such a low cooldown that it is always going to be up. It'll disable dogs, turrets, rogue agents, really anything, and also give you a brief moment where they stagger back to land those easy headshots. The other skill, which is mainly useful for Heroic, is going to be the Blinder Firefly. The cooldown also is going to be really low, so you always have your opponents blinded, so your glass cannon guys in the back are going to be able to do their damage, get easy headshots, and really everything around you is just going to be statused, and the Creeping Death will pass it on. Everyone around you not shooting you. It's the greatest thing ever. So the best specialization to run with this build is going to be the Firewall. You can see that you'll get that increased burn duration. You'll also get the fiery response. Whenever your armor breaks, it'll light everyone on fire. And of course you want the signature damage all the way up, and whatever weapon types you're going to use all the way up. It also has a pretty nice med kit and grenade, so it's pretty easy to get used to. Here's a quick look at the overview. You're not going to see the high status effect and skill haste, but that is definitely what you're going for when you look down at the skills. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope this build helps you out in your in-game content, and if you need any tips on how to farm or if you have questions, just ask me in the comments. Stay tuned for some more clips of this build in action and some funny moments. And Fei Lao, if you are out there, I'm coming for you.
System disrupted. Incoming hostiles detected. Detecting additional hostile contact. Rogue assault turret detected.
Jet Nest.